The excavation on the shattered moon Karen's Reach was meant to be a formality, nothing more than a training exercise for newly commissioned cadets. Cadet Alan Maris worked in silence, boots sinking into pale ash that had once been a city older than recorded history. His scanner hummed steadily, mapping empty voids beneath the surface, until the tone shifted sharply. A buried anomaly pulsed beneath 5 meters of compacted debris, old enough that the ruins around it had fossilized into stone. Alan signaled his supervisor and began digging by hand. What emerged was not machinery, nor relic, nor weapon, at least not by any modern definition. It was a segmented construct resembling fractured armor plates, floating inches above the ground, rotating slowly as if uncertain where it was. Its surface rippled like liquid metal frozen mid-motion, etched with symbols that reconfigured every time Alan tried to focus on them. The air grew heavy. The construct drifted toward him. His supervisor shouted for him to step back, but the sound felt distant, distorted, as though space itself resisted urgency. When the artifact touched Alan's forearm, pain never came. Instead, disorientation flooded his senses. The world fractured into overlapping layers, each showing different futures, movements, possibilities. The construct shattered into pieces of light and flowed into his body, embedding along his spine and shoulders like a second nervous system. Alan collapsed, gasping. Medical alarms blared. His vitals spiked, then stabilized at impossible efficiency. "Get him contained," the supervisor ordered, panic-breaking protocol discipline. "That's a disoriented alien weapon. Precursor class. They destabilize hosts until collapse." Alan sat up slowly, eyes unfocused yet alert. Information streamed through his thoughts. Battlefield geometries, probability corridors, kinetic inversions, doctrines of war abandoned by the galaxy millennia ago. The weapon was damaged, fragmented, confused. It did not know where it was or why the civilization it served was gone. And somehow, impossibly, it was trying to orient itself through him. Commander Vesk arrived within minutes, her mandibles clicking with restrained dread. "These weapons were never meant to awaken again," she said. "They drove their creators to extinction." Alan looked down at his hands. He could feel the artifact recalibrating, stabilizing around his biology, adapting rather than consuming. "It's not attacking me," he said quietly. "It's lost." The commander stiffened. "Then that makes you the most dangerous variable we've encountered in 1,000 years. Alan swallowed, understanding settling heavily in his chest. The galaxy had just changed, and it had done so through high. Containment protocols failed within the hour. No energy field could stabilize around Alan's body without collapsing inward, as if the weapon instinctively rejected confinement. Medical scans revealed foreign structures woven between his nerves, not invasive but cooperative, reinforcing synapses, redistributing stress responses, optimizing muscle recruitment. The alien weapon was not controlling him. It was learning from him. Commander Vesk convened an emergency council aboard the cruiser Zenith Halo. Representatives argued over holographic projections, voices overlapping with fear disguised as authority. Precursor weapons were never meant to bond. They dominated, overwrote, erased. Yet Alan remained lucid, calm, disturbingly focused. "This artifact is damaged," Alan explained, standing at the center of the chamber. "Its guidance systems are fragmented. It doesn't remember its original directives." A diplomat scoffed. "You expect us to believe a relic older than civilization needs your help?" Alan met his gaze evenly. "It's adapting. My nervous system isn't rejecting it. Earth biology evolved under constant extinction pressure. Redundancy is natural to us." The chamber fell silent. Humans were Deathworlders, yes, but never before had that trait been weaponized so directly. Vesk folded her arms. "You will submit to transfer in isolation. Galactic research will dismantle the construct." The word "no" formed in Alan's mind before he spoke it aloud. The weapon surged in agreement, stabilizing his heartbeat, reinforcing resolve. "Force separation will destabilize it," he said. "And me? There's a failsafe. If it detects coercion, it will attempt total self-correction." "Which means?" Vesk asked grimly. "A localized reality collapse," Alan replied. "Centered on my body." Orders halted. Fear recalculated priorities faster than reason ever could. 3 days later, as Alan was transported under heavy guard, the convoy was ambushed. 11 Marauder vessels tore from hyperspace, weapons locking instantly. "Surrender the Deathworlder and the artifact," their captain broadcast. "Or be erased." The bridge trembled as shields strained. Alan stepped forward before anyone could stop him. Permission to engage, he said. Denied, Vesk snapped. This is not your role. The weapon unfolded within him, projections branching into countless tactical outcomes. Most ended in catastrophic loss. One did not. It already is my role, Alan said softly. He raised his hand. The artifact responded, aligning fractured systems into coherence for the first time since its awakening. Space twisted. The lead Marauder ship folded inward, crushed not by force, but by redirected probability. It vanished between moments. The remaining ships fled instantly. Silence consumed the bridge. Vesk stared at Alan, horror and awe colliding. You didn't fire a weapon, she whispered. Alan lowered his hand. I corrected a mistake. The aftermath spread faster than any official report could suppress. Sensor data leaked. Simulations failed to replicate what Alan had done. Analysts could not determine whether the Marauder vessel had been destroyed, displaced, or rewritten. The only consensus was this: the galaxy had never seen a single individual alter the outcome of battle so absolutely. Alan was moved to a secured observation deck, not a cell, though the distinction felt symbolic at best. Diplomats watched him through reinforced transparisteel as if proximity alone carried risk. Ambassador Krell approached cautiously, claws folded behind his back. You understand what you represent now, he said. Alan nodded. A liability. A deterrent, Krell corrected. You are the most feared warrior alive, and you have not even declared yourself one. The weapon hummed quietly beneath Alan's skin, no longer disoriented but not fully restored. It was stabilizing, guided by human pattern recognition and restraint. It wasn't meant to be used like this, Alan said. Its creators designed it to end wars before they began. Krell's eyes narrowed. And yet it ended them permanently. Commander Vesk joined them, posture rigid. Every power block is demanding custody. They believe controlling you means controlling the weapon. Alan laughed once, humorless. They still don't understand. Then explain it, Vesk said. Alan turned toward the viewport, stars stretching endlessly beyond. The weapon isn't loyal to me. It's aligned with survival logic. It bonded because my species evolved around constant loss. We don't seek dominance instinctively. We seek continuity. The weapon pulsed, reinforcing the statement with calm certainty. Its creators lacked restraint, Alan continued. They solved every problem with escalation until nothing remained to threaten them, or challenge them, or stop them. Krell was silent for a long moment. You believe they left these weapons as a test? I know they did, Alan replied. Scattered, damaged, incomplete. Waiting for a species that could integrate power without being consumed by it. Vesk exhaled slowly. And you believe humanity qualifies? Alan met her gaze. We come from a world that kills the unprepared. Survival taught us humility. Power taught us fear of ourselves. The bridge doors opened as a transmission from Galactic Command arrived. Authorization codes scrolled across the display, reclassifying Alan's status. Not prisoner. Not asset. Strategic equalizer. Krell read the designation aloud, voice strained. You are to act independently in defense of galactic stability. Alan closed his eyes briefly. The weight settled. I didn't ask for this, he said. None of us ever do, Vesk replied. But history rarely asks permission. The weapon synchronized fully, systems aligning with his intent rather than overriding it. For the first time since awakening, it was no longer lost. It had found context. As the Zenith Halo resumed its course, Alan stood alone in the quiet of the observation deck. No guards remained. None were needed. The stars drifted past, indifferent witnesses to a shift that would echo across centuries. The weapon rested within him, no longer fragmented, but still restrained by design and by choice. It offered solutions endlessly, paths to domination, efficiency beyond morality. And each time Alan refused them. He remembered Earth's storms, its predators, its fragile ecosystems balanced on knife edges. Humanity had learned early that survival was not about winning but enduring. Commander Vesk joined him silently. The Council believes fear will keep you obedient, she said. Alan smiled faintly. Fear kept my species alive long before this. Do you intend to use the weapon again? She asked. Alan considered the question carefully. Only when restraint fails. The weapon pulsed in approval, locking that principle deep within its governing logic. It was adapting again not toward conquest but toward limitation. Somewhere in the vast silence between stars, the remnants of the precursor civilization lingered only as dust and warning. Alan felt their presence faintly, not as ghosts, but as intent carried forward through design. They had not vanished by accident. They had burned themselves out chasing certainty through force. Humanity had survived by accepting uncertainty and adapting anyway. They feared what they built, Alan said quietly. So they broke it, scattered it, waited. Vesk inclined her head. And now? Alan opened his eyes. Now they know whether their fear was justified. Galactic Command's final directive echoed through the ship, broadcast across Allied systems. Humanity was no longer classified as emerging. It was designated a stabilizing species, trusted with powers others had failed to wield responsibly. Not because humans were stronger but because they remembered weakness. Alan placed his hand against the glass. I won't become what they were, he said. I won't let fear turn power into extinction. The weapon sealed that intent permanently, rewriting its own dormant directives. Protection superseded dominance. Preservation outweighed victory. Across the galaxy, sensors detected the shift, a subtle recalibration of something ancient and immense. Empires paused. Warlords reconsidered. Not because Alan threatened them but because he did not. That restraint terrified them more than destruction ever could. As the stars continued their endless drift, Alan made a silent vow, not just for himself, but for every world still struggling to survive. Power would not define humanity. Responsibility would. And if the galaxy feared him for that, then fear would serve a purpose at last.